While the measuring was going on, boats that had been measured or were yet to be measured took the opportunity of going out for practice. There's the Russian Star and their spare boat going out in the morning breeze. The Australian 5.5 metre bending on their mainsail. You can see the boomerang in the corner of the sail. Hoisting. Pick the boom up so as not to strain the leech of the sail. While they are getting ready, the Argentine Star boat is going out. And there's Australia going out, while the French 5.5, which has been moored out already, is held up head to wind to hoist her mainsail. And sailing alongside the pontoon to pick up an extra hand. But there wasn't much wind late in the afternoon when some of them came back. The flags are hanging idle, and there's barely enough wind. They're having to paddle in. It's all very peaceful, but it may not be quite so funny if you're trying to get in time for supper. At the Posillipo Yacht Club, the Flying Dutchmen were kept and measured alongside the magnificent swimming pool. This clubhouse, by the way, had been opened only just in time for the games, having been built specially, and the swimming pool was in use most of the time. There are the Flying Dutchmen lined up in front of the clubhouse and the slip from the water. And here's one having the equipment checked. Everything is ticked off in a large list. 2 life jackets, yes. Now sails, laid out on the big table. Mainsail, length of the leech checked, controlled is the word they use. Folded in half for the half height measurement taken across the sail. Another mainsail. And here's Peder Lunda, the Norwegian Flying Dutchman helmsman who won the gold medal, wearing a yachting cap to show he's the skipper as opposed to the crew in the blue shirt. Peder got into frightful trouble when he got back to Norway with his medal because he'd missed 3 weeks at school. He comes of a wonderful yachting family. His father and mother have both been involved with gold medals in the 6-metre class, and I'm sure we shall be hearing more of Peder. The International Measurement Committee on one of their visits, and the Magic Spinnaker, made in England. Now the centreboard is supposed to be taken out so that it can be measured separately from the boat and the boat weighed without it. But this one wouldn't come. Look inside the buoyancy tanks. All correct. Nobody's been hiding any ballast in there. Turn the boat up on her side and have another go at getting the centreboard out. No, there's something jammed inside the slot. Oh well, she's over the minimum weight anyway, so we won't bother about the centreboard. Leave it in and measure the spare board outside the boat. Turn her over for measuring the keel profile. This boat is one of the beautifully made Italian fiberglass ones. There were 6 altogether. But first of all, have another go at that centreboard. It ought to come. Now this is the spare board being checked for profile over the painted shape on the table. You can see the rudder shape painted alongside. Controlled, stamped, all right. The one that wouldn't come out of the boat being checked for thickness. 20 millimeters on the gauge is the maximum. All right. Now the keel profile is measured down from a tight wire at 5 stations along the keel. The total of the discrepancies at the 5 stations must not exceed 12 millimeters. All right. Wind up the tape. And check the mast bends against bends painted on the table. The spinnaker boom was a little bit too long and had to have a piece cut off. The mast is then stepped in the boat, and with a tight wire stretched along, the deck line position is checked against the corresponding band on the mast. The papers are complete, signed off. Right, you're finished. They had to cut a doorway in the wall of the Posillipo Club to the swimming club next door, where the single-handed fins were to be kept. 35 brand new fins, plus several spare boats, provided by Italy as host nation, were allocated by lot with quite a ceremony.
Green boat.
À quelle heure avez-vous prévu, Franco?
Morocco. 151. 144. Yellow boat.
Avez-vous prévu la fin du ballot? Parce qu'on peut ralentir un peu. Si c'est nécessaire pour que l'horaire soit respecté.
Great Britain. 166.
Have they given you a nice boat?
Yes.
Remember me from Torquay, Austin Town? One of the helmsmen said his mast was at the wrong angle, so this had to be checked. And here's Jimmy McGrew trying a tiller, which was said not to clear the helmsman's knees. We had to make an adjustment to the rudder. The International Measurement Committee were officially weighed and presented to Peter Scott, who was president of the international jury.
Then know what they're talking about so far as yachts are concerned. I mean,